Live streaming is on. Hi everyone. Good morning. I know that some of you took the task exam last Friday and the scores are starting to come in. The writing's taking a little bit longer. Some of you are getting immediate responses for your science, social studies. Let's see, science, social studies, math, reading, I believe. And writing's the last one to come in because it's actually evaluated by people. So, um, some of you are having great news. Some of you are a little disappointed, but let me say this: we are here to help you. And if you grind, put in the time with us, I guarantee you that you'll see improvement, that you'll pass, you'll move on to the next phase. But to be perfectly honest with you, the writing and the math are the most difficult sections. So that's why I'm here. That's why writing is in two parts. The first part kind of gives you the foundation, the grammar. And then the second part, we get into the meat. And as you may be aware already, we are returning to live classrooms in about 3 weeks. So writing is going to be an extended lesson because we have to give the foundation first and then get into the actual technical part of writing. If you put the time in, I'm going to make you a good writer. I'm going to make you a good writer. So you don't have to be afraid of this section. But what you need to do is drill down, bear with us, hang with us, and let me see you here. Let me know you're here. Please ask questions. I have all of my contact information posted in Classroom. So I'm a phone call, I'm an email away. Something that's not making sense, Melody, say it in English. Try it another way. Smoke signals, I don't know, but I'm not getting it this way. Let us know. So as we move on to the other section of writing, we're going to talk about two things. And I'm silly. Please forgive me. Um, I have to use my picture when we talk about um, the formal tone, writing in a formal tone. So here's my picture I'm sharing with you. Ooh, you didn't go over there. When we're writing in a formal tone, I know I'm silly. And I'm an old head, you can tell, because you see my boy up there. He's formally dressed. He's not going to wear this um, to play basketball on the court. He's not going to dress this way um, to walk through the grocery store. He is dressed formally. Okay. So when we are speaking of writing in a formal tone, we're talking about writing in a way that we don't normally write because of the audience. Who is this for, right? That's what we're talking about. Who is this for? So let's take a look. The tone. Be nice, Google Slides. Yeah, well, okay. Um, let's here we go. So when we're talking about the author's tone, we're speaking of the author's attitude towards the subject in writing. And we're now talking about writing in the formal tone. So when we are using the formal tone in writing, essays, anything academic related to school, memos, professional letters or emails, resumes, okay? When you and first, let me touch back on number one. When you are writing these essays for these tests, no slang, not speaking in the way we speak to one another. You're going to get, and I'm going to use slang, hammered. Don't do it. So here we go. No slang, professional language, not casual. You're using a more sophisticated vocabulary, paying attention to proper grammar, and we're not really caring about your opinion. So do not use I. It is general, unless you're called to ask that, then do not use I. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Mamie. How are you ladies doing today? Glad you're here. So, in informal writing tone, you're going to use when you're writing a narrative, meaning you're speaking about yourself. When you're writing informal letters or notes, texts to friends, personal emails, and then you can use slang. And it sounds like conversation. And yes, you can use eyes. Eyes are appropriate. I think that's it. Because we've touched on this before. And so I just wanted to say it again so that when you are writing, that you don't get zinged for little things. That's not what we want. So now we're going to take a look at, writing in the objective tone versus the subjective tone. And this is the cool thing about this, you can do these activities and you can actually work through these activities too. So the learning target is that I can determine the difference between the objective and subjective tones in writing, and I can revise a paragraph so that it has an objective tone. If something is objective, it is based on fact and not influenced by personal feelings, emotions, or opinions. We don't care how you feel. We don't care what you think. Okay. And if something is subjective, it is based on personal feelings, emotions, and opinions. There are times when a writer must have an objective tone, such as when informing or explaining about a topic, like in a science text, in a social studies text, and math. Um, math, you're not having emotions. And when we're learning math concepts, it's just giving the information. And this helps the writer appear as a credible reporter on the topic rather than someone who has a limited personal view. This is what makes us educated, to have the ability to write about things in an objective manner. There are times, however, say if you wrote a blog, where your personal feelings are called for and your emotions and your opinions. The purpose of informative writing is to provide the reader with facts about a topic. The purpose of explanatory writing is to examine a topic closely and break it down in a clear way for the reader. In order to effectively inform or explain, a writer should avoid including his or her feelings, emotions, and opinions. And in addition, a writer should never refer to him or herself or directly address the reader. You stay on the facts and conclusions drawn from those facts. Let's take a look at these two passages and see if we can see the difference. Now, when we're writing about Jackie Robinson and the objective tone, his accomplishments in baseball make him a hero because he made important racial breakthroughs in sports. In paragraph 15 of How Jackie Robinson Changed Baseball, McBurney states, the first baseball player to break the color barrier in 60 years, he paved the way for many future African American and minority athletes. This quote shows that Robinson desegregated baseball and proved that people with any color skin can play. He has inspired many people. Now in the subjective tone, and see if you see the difference. And you've been given some hints. Jackie Robinson is my hero because he made amazing racial breakthroughs in sports. I read in the article that the first baseball player to break the color barrier in 60 years, he paved the way for many future African American and minority athletes. He desegregated baseball so we can all play now. I don't know about you, but that makes me very proud of him because he showed that people with any color skin can play baseball. This is why Jackie should be everyone's hero. So you're also telling me he should be my hero. And can you see the difference? I'm talking about me. I'm um, qualifying what he did. Amazing. We're just using a different kind of language, and we can all play. Again, we're referring to ourselves. We don't do that in objective when we write with an objective tone. I don't know about you, but that makes me proud. He's my hero. He should be everyone else's hero too. No, that is not how we do it. You don't give an opinion unless it's specifically asked for. So let's take a look at the tone of this sentence. I think the documentary about the Civil War was amazing because it focuses on both a Union and Confederate soldiers. Well, let's start here. I think, ooh, you just, the tone is going to be subjective. Wait a minute now. It's not letting me do it. Uh, okay, let's go back real quick. So we're going to say um, subjective, right? The documentary about the Civil War focuses on both Union and Confederate soldiers. This is going to be, oh, I know what I did, where I can, can we make it bigger? So number one, we're going to put subjective. Number two, we're going to put objective. Number three, cruel is a character trait that describes King Minos because he demands that the tributes be sent to feed his Minotaur. We called him cruel and we said why he's cruel. So we would call this objective. Let's look at the other one. I think King Minos is cruel because he demands that tributes be sent to feed his Minotaur. Well, first of all, the word I, that I can't highlight. I don't know why. Let's see, edit. So that number 4 is going to be subjective. Okay. Oh, I don't have a number 5. So that's what I'm adding there. Let's see if we can go to the next slide. All right. Sugar impairs the ability to think clearly. Therefore, experts believe that teenagers should limit their sugar intake. Objective or subjective? It's stating what experts believe. Um, so I would call this I would call this objective A. Look at number 6. Sugar impairs the ability to think clearly. This is why you should limit. But we've referred to someone, okay, in the third person, and we don't do that. We don't refer to ourselves or others. So this is subjective. And I think we've gotten it there. So what is the difference between It's not letting me edit. What's the difference between an objective and a subjective tone? Um, an objective tone speaks of objective tone delivers facts and information without emotion, because some without emotion or personal references. A subjective tone um, gives personal references and emotional and emotion stirring words. So that's what I would say about that. So when trying to remain objective, it is important to consider the three main points of view. Let me go here and see if we can look at this now as a slide. It's important to remember the three main points of view and the pronouns writers use when writing from each point of view. When choosing a point of view for information and explanatory writing, the best choice is the third person. And so, with the third person point of view, the writer remains neutral and does not bring him or herself or the reader into the writing. Again, this gives the writer more credibility. So, let's look at first person. I, me, mine. And when it's plural, it's we, us, our, and ours. The second person refers to you, your, yours. And plural of you is you, all of you, your, and yours. And when we're speaking of the third person, we are saying he, she, it, him, her, his, her, and its. And we can also give the names of people. And when we speak of them in plural, we will say they, them, theirs, and their and theirs. So now we want to drag the pronouns. Where did they go? To the correct column. So first person, again, was I, me, and second person is you, there. Third person, wait, let's go back one. I'm saying these wrong. First person, I, me, my, mine, you, your, yours, and she, him, it, her. So we're referring to someone out there, someone out there, basically. So during revising of the writing process, you will need to eliminate or substitute your first and the second personal pronouns and any words that give away personal feelings or emotions, personal opinions, judgments, and or arguments. Do not change any words that have been directly quoted from another text. Quoted words must remain exactly as they were written in the original source, and then you say where you got the quote. Some phrases you can use to remain objective include the author wrote, the author believes, the narrator states, the character shows, it has been shown, this quote shows, this quote proves, people, individuals. So here we're looking at an explanatory paragraph, and we want it to become objective. Let's take a look. I think Mrs. Chipley's attitude towards Sally is uncaring. She was very rude to her in this story. In paragraph 3 of the excerpt of From Magic Elizabeth by Norma Cassirer, the narrator states, but Mrs. Chipley strode purposefully on, as if she had no time to notice small discomforts. This quote shows that Mrs. Chipley does not really care about Sally being concerned and being uncomfortable. What we see is that she's in a hurry to drop Sally off, like with her aunt. When Sally wonders out loud what her aunt is like, Mrs. Chipley doesn't even hear her. My conclusion is that Mrs. Chipley's attitude towards Sally is uncaring. Well, first we're talking about I think, and my conclusion, um, I think overall the rest of it is pretty decent. And I think she's being very rude. Well, I think she's being very rude. We don't, that's not really how you would say it. It is shown, her behavior implies, right? That's what we would use, those kinds of words. Not going to go through these two. There are many more. And so, what we want to do is at the end for you to tell me how you felt about this. Can you determine the difference from 0 to 4? 0 meaning you don't understand, 4 meaning you can teach others, or that you can revise a paragraph. Can you revise a paragraph yourself from 0, I don't understand, to 4, I can teach others? Let me know how this helped or did not help you. So that's all we have to go on today is writing in an objective and formal tone. We will do more with that. We're going to keep working on some of these skills that make or break you on these tests. So that's it. And don't be discouraged. Um, I am thinking of a quote from that said, I either win or learn. I never lose. I either win or learn. I never lose. So let's think about that. And I hope everyone will go on and have a great day. Want you to know that we have science coming up in 8 little minutes. So I hope to see you there. All right. Take care.